Live. Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Alex Wills, and I'll be your host for today's live conversation. Excited to be here. We've got a great session lined up for you. First, we're going to kick things off with a one-on-one discussion with Qube Money, who's currently raising on the StartEngine platform. After that, we'll roll right into a fast-paced elevator pitch competition featuring 3 additional issuers who are actively raising on the platform. Each founder will have just a short window to pitch their company, and then we'll have a little time for follow-up questions and reactions. But first, we're diving into how innovative approaches to personal finance, including solutions like Qube Money's mindful banking model, are aiming to help people create healthier, more intentional relationships with their money. We're joining today by Kevin O'Leary and Qube Money's co-founder and CEO, Shane Walker. Shane, before we jump into discussion, why don't you start off by giving everyone a quick overview of Qube Money and the mission behind it?
Of course. Thanks, Alex. So Qube Money is pioneering a banking command center for financial intentionality. And our mission is to solve financial anxiety and save marriages.
Shane, you mentioned that traditional budgeting tends to be reactive. People look back and wonder, where did my money go? How does Qube aim to change that behavior on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, sure. So in today's monetary system, money is largely invisible. It's lumped into one bank account and it comes in and out automatically, largely unnoticed. And that's what leaves people feeling anxious about really where their money is going. So Qube Money simply makes it visible. And Kevin, I actually love following you online and hearing you share about your early life and what you've learned from your mother, like investing a third of your income. And did she ever manage her spending by carrying cash in envelopes labeled for things like Christmas gifts or groceries, things like that?
Yeah, back in those days, they actually got paid cash every 14 days. So, and they had to go to bank tellers to deposit it or invest it. It was very complex. But actually, in some ways, that forced everybody to actually physically handle their money and see it diminish as they started distributing it. It was more powerful then. It's never going to happen again, as you say.
Yeah.
But it had people were far more responsible with their little envelope of cash every 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. And it's really, that's how people manage their money because it worked, right? And it was physical. And so what Qube Money is doing is developing a banking and budgeting app that enables you to simply divvy up the money in your bank account into digital envelopes, and then to spend from those envelopes with the convenience of a debit or credit card, just like opening a physical envelope to pull cash out to pay for, say, groceries. You open your Qube app and tap the grocery envelope to open it and spend from it with your card. So it makes it feel really good. And then Qube can automatically categorize each transaction based on which envelope you opened. And really, this makes sense because when people make decisions about money, they actually look at their bank account. That's where they go. They don't go to their budgeting app. They look at their bank account. So Qube simply aligns with the way people already make decisions about money, except now they just have much better information when they make those decisions.
Kevin, we've seen countless budgeting tools, fintech solutions over the years. When you hear about a system that tries to guide spending decisions before the money leaves the account, what stands out to you about that?
It's interesting in the sense that it works. It has worked for decades in the past. And obviously, as we've gone to digital banking, that concept of categorization has kind of drifted out. But more importantly, I think why this is important is the problem today, particularly with people that get in financial trouble, it's quite a few, on credit card debt, 23 to 28% currently, interest on the balance, is they have to in some way eventually modify their behavior. They're outspending what they bring in, and it's really a behavioral change. So any tool that helps you realize or forces to stick your nose into, actually where your money's going, and it makes you think about it when you see the envelope diminish to where there's none left in it, then you're going into deficit and you're paying huge interest. And so that we in America, unfortunately, only have a few states where they teach financial literacy. Where I am here in Florida, we do in grade school. We need that because that's really why a tool like this is important. You have to change your behavior to be compliant with saving money for the long term.
Shane, you mentioned that traditional budgeting tends to be reactive. People look back and wonder, where did my money go? How does Qube aim to change that behavior on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so the key is that you look at your money before you spend, or you look at your money on a regular basis. And so what Qube does is, because it takes your bank balance and divvies it up based on where you want to spend it, it creates that, instead of tracking after the fact when it's too late, the money's already gone, right? And oftentimes they're spending on credit cards. People are spending on credit cards, so they don't even realize they spent the money until 45 days or whenever that credit card payment becomes due. And so Qube creates this look at your money, look at what the purpose is before you spend, so that you make the right decision. And it really is that simple. And it's a very seamless user experience, so that you can integrate your existing favorite credit cards where you're earning rewards and your existing bank account. But then in addition to that, having an integrated banking experience with Qube Checking, if you would like, to make so that all of that is instant, and we can actually decline your card if it's with Qube Checking, if it doesn't align with your plan. So it creates this really, what people are already doing. Like I said, they already look at their bank account. That's what they do when they make decisions about their money. But it makes that much more intuitive and gives them a lot more information, and so simple and so fast. And we actually find that, someone spends 2 hours a month tracking their transactions when they use a traditional budgeting app or like a spreadsheet. With Qube, it's literally 5 seconds before the purchase, and it's right in line with what they're doing. And so that's how it changes behavior. And it's been super amazing to see, like, the response that we've got from the marketplace as a result of the technology. So,
shifting over to tech and AI, Kevin, from your perspective, how's AI changing consumer financial tools in general? What should founders keep top of mind when integrating AI into tools and products that help oversee something as sensitive as people's money?
Well, AI is affecting all 11 sectors of the economy. That's why it's so coveted now and why it's so valuable. But financial services is where it was used first. And so what it's incredibly good at is scraping data, analyzing it, and putting forward a suggestion, which is exactly what's happening here. And I think that's important to understand, because it's spending behavior. And, I tell people to do a very simple check, even wealthy people that I talk to just look at over a 90-day period, just 3 months, what they bring in, all sources of income, versus what they spend. And invariably what happens 2/3 of the time, sometimes more like 80%, is they're going into deficit. They're actually just spending more cash than they bring in. And a lot of it has to do with behavior, but it's also mistakes like buying a house that's too big and the mortgage is more than 1/3 of their income, all kinds of things like that. But with very wealthy people, or people that have large cash balances all over the place, they don't notice it, and they're slowly diminishing their net worth. And so it's very important to figure out a way to, first of all, get the information about your habits, because if you don't have the data, you don't know that you have to modify. And that's what's important here. It's really about, I say to my entrepreneurial companies, you have to have a dashboard every day that marks to market all your income, all your expenses. And until you have that, I'm not going to invest, because you have to be able to guide the ship. And the only way you can guide the ship is you have the dashboard. This is a similar thing. This is fundamentals. This is finance 101. And it's a good thing to make it easy for consumers to use it. This is the biggest problem facing the nation, is credit card debt for people over the age of 28. It's a huge, huge, huge problem.
Hey, Alex, can I just share something with that? Like,
Yeah.
there's so many tools out there that provide this visibility when it comes to net worth and really um, your investments. But there's never been a tool that exists that does that from a spending level and engages with the individual before they spend the money. And wealthy people, I think that there really is. If you just look at it and say, hey, what's happening to my net worth overall, it works. But for the single mom and the working family, really what has to happen is they have to engage with their cash balances before they spend. And so that they can, in the moment, be guided to make the correct decision. And we just believe that that's with the bank account. And then like Kevin said, you bring in their investment account, so you bring in that net worth. And that's actually what we saw. We built a tool that would just do our account, but we didn't integrate with their other bank accounts and their other credit cards and their other investment accounts.
Mhm.
And you have to see their whole wallet in order to make the impact that they're looking for. And so that's why we're bringing in Qube Plus into the picture as a product feature, so that it can link with their existing bank account, their other bank accounts, their other credit cards, and their investment accounts through the aggregation tools.
Shane, going back to you as well, you've mentioned significant growth and strong engagement from your user base. That's a big value prop on StartEngine for your raise.
Yeah.
You're also in an important phase as you transition to a new sponsor bank. What should people understand about this moment for you and the company?
Yeah. So the thing that this has forced us to do is to do exactly what I just mentioned, in that we knew we needed to play well with their other financial institutions. We were just so inundated with the Qube checking product, which was our integrated sponsor bank relationship, that there was always more to do there. And what this has done is it's forced us to integrate with the other financial institutions, which opens up the funnel massively. We're actually adding more people to the wait list than we ever did with Qube checking. Like, more people are engaging right now, and we don't even have a product release. I mean, we're in beta with Qube Plus, and just getting ready. In January, we released this to general beta. We'll also release linked credit cards. And so anyways, it's just causing growth to explode because we're doing that. And then we are still we're making great progress to aligning with the new sponsor bank so that we can have the primary product of Qube checking, which a lot of our users really want as well.
Okay. And Kevin, just some final thoughts before we end this. Where do you see consumer finance and financial empowerment heading into the next few years?
Digitization with a combination of AI, obviously, and as I said earlier, the financial services sector is adopting AI faster than any other right now, just because the tool provides margin enhancement and productivity in a very measurable way. And so this is a good iteration of it, but it also speaks to the issue of financial literacy. This is not a small problem. This is a huge problem. This is trying to fix. It's a massive problem. And nothing has really fixed it in the last 30 years. You see almost the same percentage of people getting run over by credit card debt than you did 30 years ago. So, yeah, you know, it's really a time to focus on it, because destroying your credit, I mean, the way to look at it is it's very hard to build up a credit rating past 700, which lets you get your cost of capital goes down, particularly on mortgages, which really matters. Mostly that's the largest debt people have. So any tool that helps them stay out of trouble, which really this is doing, is very good. I mean, period, because nothing has worked. So here's another way to look at it, and maybe this will work a lot better than nothing. That's the whole idea.
Well, this has been a great conversation. I really appreciate this. Kevin, you're going to stay on, and so we're going to shift over to the elevators pitch segment. as well. So I really appreciate it, Shane. Thanks for being here. And we're really looking forward to seeing what's next for Qube Money.
Awesome, Kevin. Kevin, really good to meet you. And I'm really excited about Beanstocks. I've talked to your partner on that, and there's some exciting things moving there. So
yeah, that's why I set that up. I really want to be part of the solution. That was, something I did a long time ago because I realized, like you said, financial literacy, wow, it's a mess. It's just a mess.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Shane. All right, Kevin. Yes, you'll stay on. Really appreciate it. And we're going to bring on our first founder right now. And he is from UpLyft.
Hi, Kevin. Are you aware that 41 million people in the U.S. cannot get out of a bed or a chair independently? And this is causing a $20 billion workers' compensation claim problem in the U.S. healthcare system annually. My name's Craig Mizrak. I'm president and CEO for UpLyft, and I'm here to talk to you today about the remaining $500,000 available for subscription in our crowdfunding campaign on StartEngine. The statistics I just gave to you are being driven by old age and seniors, people who may be overweight, and folks with disabilities who cannot get out of bed independently. The reason for that is archaic sling technology that our customer Calvin in Arkansas refused to get out of bed one day a month with, because it required his wife and staff to take 10 to 20 minutes and use immense physical labor to transfer him out of bed. Where now with UpLyft, he's able to get out of bed every single day within 2 minutes. To our knowledge, with our 16 issued patents, we are the only independent seated bedside transfer system being sold in the world with zero physical lifting required by spouses, caregivers, and nurses. We are FDA registered. We're selling product in 45 cities across the US and your homeland of Canada. We are also with GAAP-based revenue and a sales pipeline now exceeding $3.1 million. We have very low cost digital marketing at 10 times return on ad spend versus the medical device industry average of 3 times. We are selling product at a price point between $13,000 and $20,000, but we have a fantastic recurring revenue stream through leasing, where an individual or facility can get into an UpLyft for as low as $195 a month. We are adding accessories and services across the install base to monetize accordingly. We have Keystone Healthcare Facilities account at Seabrook Senior Living, Piedmont Hospital, and Cottage Rehab, with a bulk purchase order in place with a in negotiation with a multi-city national assisted living facility. We're also selling through dealers and distributors in e-commerce platform and have a live contract with Veteran Affairs selling to veterans. We manufacture in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We can manufacture up to 5,000 annually and make this a $50 million plus business. We have produced 150 units so far, and next year believe we can produce and sell 300, generate 4.2 million in revenue, and become profitable. This is my third medical device company I've led as founder CEO.
I'm gonna have to cut you off now and see if we can get Kevin's thoughts on this.
Sure.
All right.
Well, I'm going to give a 9 out of 10 on the pitch, because the key to an elevator pitch is to answer every question before it's asked of you, and you did that. Pretty clear what you're doing. The key to me was the lease deal, because nobody can afford $13,000 if it's just an average income. So the lease deal is the deal. Grease. I mean, that's why it could work. I think that's a small price to pay to have the ability to provide mobility to people. I think that is a good point. The 10x ROAS is incredible. I mean, I think anything over 7 is incredible. I mean, 5 is good, but this is, you must have a really good methodology on your CAC to target potential customers. That in itself is very interesting, because in this case, if you can get 10x, investors are just pouring gasoline on the fire there. And if that's consistent, that's a very good attribute of this deal. Solving a big problem, I get it. it was a good pitch. I mean, it really, everybody should listen to that pitch and understand all the questions were answered. At least 9 out of 10 of them were. And that's really what a great pitch is about. Good work.
All right. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you, Kevin, very much. Appreciate it. Thank you, Alex.
And so now we're going to bring on Prem from My Diabetes. Prem, you're muted. Prem, can you unmute your video? There. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Kevin. I'm Dr. Prem Sahas. I'm the founder, chief executive, CEO at My Diabetes Total. I'm a board certified endocrinologist. I'm the founder and a Loma Linda faculty. I've been I like to share a story. I've been in practice since 2007, built one of the largest diabetes practices in California. Life education is a lifetime therapy. I had 2 full-time certified diabetes educators in my practice in 2018, and my educators decided to retire in 2018. I couldn't recruit anyone to my underserved town, so I decided to build a telehealth company, built a team contents technology to bring educators from other parts of the countries to underserved towns. That's why I got into this business. Diabetes is a huge issue. 40 million people living with diabetes. Only 6% of the people ever receive diabetes education. The reason is access issue. 62% of the non-metropolitan counties do not have a diabetes education program. And we provide, MDT, what we provide is we provide virtual diabetes education, medical nutrition therapy, device training, and support for people with diabetes, all one-on-one video visits or audio visits. And our business model is we partner with FQHCs, large medical health systems, medical practices, device companies who refer patients to us. And we build the insurance companies for the services. And it's all one-on-one video or audio visits. And we focus on the Medicare, TRICARE, and Medicaid. And Medicare pays for the services. They pay 10 hours of education during the first year and 2 hours of education during the subsequent years. It's a recurrent revenue model. So we provide education in multiple languages. 40% of our educators speak Spanish. And so far we have over 8,600 patients who went through our program, 35,000 visits. And our outcomes are way better than the national average, 2 times better, 1.6 drop in A1C with the enrolling to our program.
Hey, thank you, Prem. And I want to get Kevin's thoughts, have some time for that.
Well, it's an interesting market. There's no question about it, that particularly with diabetes, and you know, this strikes close to me because I have diabetes in my family, so I'm you know, very aware of eating habits and you know, the protocol to educate. I mean, the great thing about this is some percentage of people that have diabetes don't have to have it if they can educate themselves about lifestyle, and that includes diet. And so I wear a glucose monitor, even though I don't have diabetes, just to find out which food types spike my glucose and push up my A1C. Many people are doing the same thing. And as a result of that, I've lost 30 pounds. So I really like this idea. I think the challenge always is when you're dealing with behemoths in the healthcare provider market, negotiating contracts takes a long time. But they become your moat. Once you have a deal, it's very hard for competitors to displace you if, in fact, you're providing the service. So I like it from that perspective. Problem's never going to go away. I mean, never. And you know, you've got whole countries like the UAE putting billions of dollars into education, just education of their people, because they tend to eat too much sugar in their diet and they have a really big diabetes problem. And so from that perspective, I mean, I like markets that are perennial. I don't like diabetes, obviously, but the problem is a perennial problem. It's forever, and just it's perpetual. And so the demand is there. This is really a story about execution, and can the company execute? Because the service and the product is really needed. There's no question about it. So I like it from that perspective. It was a good presentation, but it didn't really speak to how long gestation time is to get a deal done, or what it looks like, what a deal's worth, and what the margins are and everything. But certainly,
once you sign there's no signed contract with the medical practice or the health systems. It's just like referring to a cardiology practice. We get the referral, we schedule the patient the next day.
Okay.
Our turnaround time is very short, and we have contracts with one of the large health systems like Cardinal Health. We are launching our services in January for device training.
What will your revenues be next year if everything works out?
So this year we had a revenue over $2 million with a 61% gross margin in 2025, and we anticipate to more than double our revenue in 2026.
Will you be profitable in 26?
We'll be profitable early 2027.
Okay, we're gonna have to end now. I really appreciate it, Prem. Thanks for coming on. And now we're gonna bring on Vic from Toi Labs.
Hi, Kevin. My name is Vic, and I'm the founder and CEO of Toi Labs. We've developed a new type of technology that transforms an existing toilet into a health monitoring system. It's called TrueLoop. We have deployed this technology in more than 50 senior care facilities across the US, Canada, and Japan. We have essentially taken a problem that is a major problem around being able to understand insight into what's going on inside your body by analyzing people's waste, their stool and urine. Fact of the matter is, stool and urine tests are the most commonly performed medical tests in the world after blood tests, but it is very inconvenient, messy, and frankly downright embarrassing to try to track this information. So what we've done is we have created a technology that allows a user with no effort on their part to have this information monitored daily in a completely passive way. We have developed a true application of artificial intelligence in the sense that we're taking a problem initially in the senior care market where caregivers have to track this information manually, and we've completely automated it and done it much better than they can do it from a human standpoint. We are backed by more than $2.7 million in funding from the NIH. We've been invested in by the largest bathroom brands in the world, including Toto and Sloan. And we aim to put this technology essentially into everyone's homes because we believe that healthcare is moving to the home. And this application of artificial intelligence is going to be a key way in which we can really transform the home into the place where healthcare happens in the future.
All right, let's get Kevin's thoughts. Thank you, Vic.
Interesting. Let me ask some questions. How do you deal with the contamination? Because usually a stool and urine test is the concern is contamination, so the results are tainted. You're extracting the sample from a toilet bowl, which must be full of bacteria.
Our technology is 100% optical and contactless. So we are actually not doing any physical chemical sampling. We are using computer vision, similar to what's used in self-driving cars and autonomous flight, but we're doing it inside the toilet bowl.
So I'm kind of wondering how, if I took a large sample of, let's say we took 1,000 people and we did it the traditional way, and we understand the cost of that. Let's say we're tracking for uric acid. Maybe you do a blood test, or I don't even know if you can get that from urine sample, but whatever the traditional tests are, and we looked at your results against the same 1,000, how much variance would there be? Is it close enough that you don't need to do the stool sample, you don't need to do the urine sample, you can get the same test results from this technology?
So that's a great question. So this is part of the reason why we're doing a randomized clinical trial right now that's funded by the NIH. This is a fundamentally new technology that is not meant to replace one-for-one a lab test. It's doing a background continuous monitoring at a much lower marginal cost and in a much more easily accessible way than a traditional lab test is. But that said, we have some very good preliminary results, which is why the NIH has funded us, that indicate that for certain chronic conditions, for example, urinary tract infections, gastrointestinal bleeding, there is high predictive value of our technology. And this is part of the reason why we're doing the clinical trials, in order to really provide the scientific background and evidence around the efficacy of what we're doing.
So the business model is you're an OEM provider to toilet bowl or toilet manufacturers. Is that the idea?
So right now we charge a monthly subscription in multi-year contracts. So all of our contracts are 3 years. We it's all enterprise B2B sales, where we sell into assisted living facilities. We have some of the biggest names in the US and Canada that are our customers. And it's a pure recurring revenue model where we rent the seat. It's a proprietary patented optoelectronic seat called TrueLu, alongside our reporting service. And we charge a blended $37 per seat per month today for that. But as we go through the FDA clearance, that hopefully we'll get through this randomized clinical trial, we think that's going to open up a lot of additional avenues of revenue to us, besides our subscription model that we're selling directly to our enterprise customers.
I just one more question. Could this be retrofitted to an existing toilet bowl? Does it have to be a new bowl with the technology already implemented in it?
The patented product is specifically designed to retrofit onto an existing toilet. You do not need to replace the entire toilet. You simply take off the seat, you put on the TrueLu. It takes less than 15 minutes to complete the retrofit process.
Yeah, interesting.
That's
so
great.
That could eventually be a consumer product if I wanted it.
Absolutely. And that's our goal.
Well, I really appreciate coming on, Vic, and thank you for the pitch. Now I'd like to get final thoughts from Kevin about all three founders.
Yeah, good job curating these three. They're all very viable. If you think about it, I'm always impressed because I've been doing this for a few years with StartEngine. In the beginning, if you looked at let's call it what it is, the quality of the deals years ago compared to what they are today is extraordinary. I mean, obviously the adoption of the platform has continued to become bigger and bigger because it works, and also the quality of the deals. So these are pretty good companies here with potential, and always you have to realize part of it's execution risk. Can the CEOs deliver on what they're saying they can do? It's always a challenge in growing a business, but these ideas all have merit. They all have big markets, and that's what makes it interesting. But I think overall, to me, the curation's getting better, but the deal quality is getting better. I mean, the whole idea is if you can get the first $1 million in sales, there's no reason you can't be 500 million, as long as you're not selling it to your grandmother and aunt, as long as it's independent people that are making decisions to solve pain points. And that's what these companies are doing. So the difference is execution, but very, very interesting. No question.
Well, great. That concludes our time. Really appreciate it. Huge thanks to our founders, UpLyft, Toi Labs, Diabetes Tour, and of course for Kevin sharing your time and your thoughts today. Really appreciate it. So we'd love to hear from you. Yeah, thank you. We'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment. Let us know who you think had the best elevator pitch. Your feedback matters. We're always excited to see which companies resonate the most with the StartEngine community. If you're interested in learning more about any of the companies you saw today, head over to startengine.com. As always, everything you've heard today has been for informational purposes only and not for investment advice. So thank you so much for joining us. On behalf of everyone here at StartEngine, I'm Alex Wills. Have a great day.
Take care.
Thank you.